Hello, everyone. My name is Arielle Warner, and this is
Zelda Hall.
and we're very happy to be with you today and tell you about our workshop coming up in September, 2nd and 3rd of September, a pre-conference workshop as part of the Creative Bridges Eurotask Conference in Oxford. And the topic of our workshop is
Gold in the Shadows, Alchemizing Trauma in Turbulent Times.
So before we tell you about our workshop, we'll tell you a little bit about ourselves. You want to go ahead and start, Zelda?
Okay. I'm originally from Northern Ireland. I've been living in Amsterdam for many, many years. I studied psychology in Ireland and I've done a lot of training in the meantime. So I have MA and MSc for what it's worth. And I have private practice for about 40 years. I've given workshops and training programs in different parts of the world. And yeah, that's about it for the moment.
Okay. I'm also a psychotherapist and I have a PhD in transpersonal psychology. I specialize in psychotherapy, spiritual care, and research and education. I also work in private practice as well as with healthcare professionals. I do trainings and lectures and workshops. I also teach in university how to integrate spirituality and psychology. And basically, I specialize in mind, body, spirit approaches and intervention, trauma-informed mind, body, spirit interventions. And I think that's about it for now. Yeah, definitely. So do you want to talk a little bit about our topic? Why did we choose this topic and what brought us to it?
Well, I think most people watching this will probably agree with us that these are pretty turbulent times indeed, and the turbulence has only increased in the last year or so. So the thing that has been concerning us is about the polarization that's occurring, and that we feel that that polarization is reflecting a polarization within ourselves. So that part of the work we all need to do in ourselves and for the world is looking inside and seeing where we're in conflict within ourselves and what parts of ourselves we find more difficult to accept. And therefore, we tend to project them on the outside world. And these can be positive aspects of ourselves that we tend to look up to in other people and sort of make them into our heroes, or can be the negative aspects of ourselves which are more difficult to deal with it or to look at for ourselves and maybe too painful, so that we end up projecting that on the outside world too, which means that the polarization we experience within ourselves is reflected in the way we experience the outside world. And I think the thing that unites us in our way of working as well is that we feel that it's not adequate anymore to do individual work. Just be working on yourself. Working on yourself is really important, but it's equally important now to connect that to the rest of the world. I mean, not everybody in the world, perhaps, but to your immediate people around you, your friends, your family, etc., so that we see ourselves as part of a great interconnected whole. Arielle, you want to say more
Yes.
about that?
Yes, I think what brought me to this topic is I've always been kind of aware of those mechanisms that we use in order to survive in times of pain and difficulty to be present with our pain, or when we have fear, when we're activated, basically, when trauma experience or survival experience. And one of those main mechanisms that we use is like splitting and polarizing, like you just said. And then othering, like seeing the fault in the other, or just not being able to be present with our pain. So we look for a narrative that will explain it. And it's just somehow I had this ability to see that all those narratives of splitting narratives are just creating more and more violence and more splitting. And this is why I'm personally fascinated by this topic. And I feel that it's really important for us to re-own that part that we project onto the other, and rather than being attached to our own narrative, because turbulent times really cause a lot of fear and a lot of grief and fluctuations of energy and anxiety, and all this shows up in our personal lives, in our relationships, in our professional lives. So this workshop is really about looking at that and being present in a way that we can hold it. And it doesn't mean that it will like erase the fear. We're not talking about bypassing the fear. We're talking about being present with the fear and the pain in a way that we can hold it. So like, for example, now I'm talking to you and I'm feeling this like little nervousness of, am I going to be able to say everything that I want to say, and how am I perceived, and so on and so forth. And at the same time, I have the ability to be like in kind of observing consciousness. So what we're going to do in our workshop is really that. We're going to learn how to be with the pain and at the same time have a wider view of it. So in a way that we can connect rather than split off. And it shows up all the time, like, of course, through social media, we see things that trigger us and make us very easily othering that thing that triggers us in our relationships, in our lives, and with our clients. So, yeah, I think it's something that really, I feel I need it. We need it. That's why we found each other. Right, Zelda?
Yes, that's the thing that connected us in a way. And I was just thinking when you talked about there, the way that we need to do this as well for ourselves. We're also doing it for the greater whole, but we're also doing it for ourselves, because to the extent that we don't deal with these conflicts within ourselves, they turn up in a lot of different ways, like you just mentioned. But some of the ways we will work with it is they turn up in the body. They turn up in physical symptoms. So and those physical symptoms are asking for our attention and compassion. And that's sometimes the temptation there is to just get rid of them, find something that gets rid of them. Unfortunately, if we do that, then the message that those symptoms is trying to give us goes deeper into the body and becomes less accessible. So that's another reason for looking with compassion about what we're really feeling, what we're really experiencing, and being able to embrace that in a way instead of trying to get rid of it. And so we both would be working with somatic approaches in this workshop, and we will be working with dreams as well, because the aspects of ourselves that we are not so familiar with, they tend to turn up in our dreams. You want to say a bit more about that?
Yeah, I think basically what we're saying is that our workshop is going to be very experiential, and it's going to touch upon personal, interpersonal, and collective aspects. And we're going to work with the body using breathing techniques and mindfulness and elements of somatic experiencing and dream work, projective dream work, so that we go on a journey together, basically. And really the title of the workshop, Alchemizing Trauma in Turbulent Times, is exactly that. That is our intention. But it's a journey, so it's just part of the path that we're going to be walking together during these 2 days.
And the other thing that we haven't mentioned yet is probably a lot of people who are listening to this will be very aware of this, but if you haven't worked in this way in a group before, it may seem a little bit scary. And at first it may be like that, but we are very focused as well on creating a good container, a safe place to be able to express some of these feelings we may not have felt so free to express before. And there's a transformative power in coming together with a group with the same intention to do it, to explore in these ways and to see how we can bring our gifts to the world more fully. So doing that together can be really, really powerful in a very positive way. That's what we hope to offer.
Absolutely. And also the gold in the shadows, like we're really focused on the gold, on the hope, on the joy, on the creativity that'll be revealed through allowing the shadow to be. So it's pretty obvious from the way we're talking is that we don't see like the shadow and the light as opposites. We see them as complementing, probably, right? Or existing together and needing each other in order to exist. So I think it's enough for now, is it? Or is there anything else?
Yes, I think that's, if any people want to know more, they can look at our other videos or
Yes.
yeah, look at our websites. And yes, this is enough for now.
Yes. So all the details are in the link, and we look forward to seeing you on the 2nd and 3rd of September at Oxford. See you soon.
Bye.